Okay, you picked up two big recruits this upcoming season, Mike McGee from Old Dominion and Jesse Vasquez from Excelsior Charter. Although most people believe this is a low recruiting class for ASU, how would you grade these two pickups?
Oh, they're big. I mean, they're as good as anybody coming in any other class in any other program, right? Jesse's only the fourth kid in California history to win 4 high school state championships in California. And, he's won at the highest level nationally. He's a brilliant student. And, Jesse, I think he looks at wrestling, loves wrestling, very good at it, but I can win anywhere. He wants to be in a place where he can achieve his lifelong goals of freedom and independence and develop into the human being that he's looking to be, which is a much bigger view than wrestling, So I like that about him. I think he's going to add a lot to the collective. And, he's 150 pounds, and right now we need 49. So that's a big weight class for us. And then, Mikkel McGee, right? A lot of people forgot about him last year because he redshirted, but the year before that, he was in the round of 12 Kansas State tournament. And, he'll be a preseason top 10 kid in the country at 133. And Dean's List from Old Dominion, 3.5 GPA. Certainly sad to see them drop their program. But at the same time, Mikkel, all the best schools were after him, and it was good. We were able to outfight Ohio State and Penn State, a few of those other schools for him. And he really will be a great addition, and great kid, great family, 3.5 student. You can't beat it.
Well, with Old Dominion unfortunately dropping their wrestling program, was it a goal for you and ASU to try to pick up some recruits from that Old Dominion team?
Well, it wasn't a priority or goal to pick up recruits from Old Dominion, but we're certainly looking for the best people available. Certainly if Old Dominion kept their program, we'd certainly give him back and be excited that Old Dominion keeps wrestling. But it's right now we're living a strange, right? And so hopefully Mikkel can make the best of his situation. I know coming here to Arizona he will. He's just loaded up his stuff and put it in storage. He's moving out here next month and get started with us, and we're going to get to work with him. And just a tremendous family out of the Chicago area too. He comes from where Cordell's from, which is fun. We've had a good success with our kids coming out of Chicago, and the Douglas brothers back in the old days as well. And so we're just excited that Mikkel's coming to join us, and good kid, good family.
Well, as you said, Vasquez is the four-time state champ in California. How are you able to sell your pitch on a top 15 ranked recruit to come to ASU?
Yeah, well, the nice thing is Jesse is no stranger to Arizona State. He's been on campus before. Prior to the high school he's at now, he was at St. John Bosco with Bosco guys that have been here. So he was teammates at the time with, the guys that have been in the program here and growing up. He was a little kid when Zeke and Anthony were coming through. And so Jesse, he's no stranger to our area, and certainly we've been watching him since he was little. I mean, you win a California state title as a freshman in high school, you're on everyone's radar. And I think for him, he wants to be in a place where he can achieve his goals. And I mean, you look up and down our lineup, but the nice thing now is we're in our 6th year, and it's not rebuild, it's reload. And I feel pretty confident we're in a place where we're not just going to try to rebuild it again. We have a standard. We got 4 returning All-Americans, and Jesse sees that. And so I think he sees that, he can be a part of a national championship team, and he can be a critical piece of that.
Well, just recently on Twitter, you guys released that you signed 3 more guys. What does it mean that wrestlers want to come join the Sun Devil program?
Well, it means a lot. It's, great families, kids that, kids like Ricky and David Fincher. They're kids that really, want to achieve in the classroom. They're all excellent. We want to have people in here in our room that can make a difference on the mat, classroom, and in their lives, and influence the people around them to, join the Sun Devil Nation. And these are guys from around the country that can do that.
Now, how can Lou, David, and Ricky help keep the Devils' success rolling on?
Well, they got to do their part. It doesn't matter if you're the 40th man or the first man on the roster. Everybody can add to the collective, high character guys. We're looking for people that want to live the right lifestyle, do it right. They're guys that do that. They're excellent students, and they've achieved a lot on the wrestling mat. So they got to live the Sun Devil way. We're going to show them what that is. But the good thing is we do the homework. We do the homework on them to know who they are before they get here, and we know that they're going to add to that. And God's given them the gift to be special on the wrestling mat. Here's their chance and opportunity to have all the resources to make them as good as they can become.
With a heavy senior class leaving, do you believe these guys will have an immediate impact for you?
I do. I think they'll make an immediate impact when you're talking about the senior group, right? Zahid, Anthony, Anthony not now, right in the 6th year, but Shields and Maruka Kramer, those guys, Tanner, all left a mark and have done a tremendous job of leading the program. The beauty for us is they're not leaving. Zahid and Shields and Tanner are going to continue training here in their quest to be the best in the world and make Olympic teams. So although they won't be in our lineup, you won't see them in the Sun Devil singlet on a Friday night, you will see their leadership around the room and their quest to be the best in the world, and they'll be great role models in the room.
Well, California seems to be a pipeline to ASU wrestling now. You got 7 of your 30 guys from this last team come from there. How are you able to be successful when it comes to recruiting California?
Well, California is critical, right? I mean, you're from California. You know how great a state it is. I mean, it's, we have to – California is like home for kids in California that come to Arizona State. This is a home school for them. So, when you got – when Zahid and Anthony led the charge, and then, Belton followed and Trey followed. And, you have, obviously Cleveland and – obviously now Jesse coming. It's important to California kids that they have pride in the West Coast, that Arizona State is in the West, and they can hold down the left side of the country and say, hey, we want to have a great program in the West, and, California kids need to stay home, and that's Arizona State for them. So that's great. And, of course, we've been fortunate to recruit around the country, as you know, and have the best kids from around the country, and even from the East Coast. But, our mainstay has been those California kids that have decided to stay closer to home and still achieve their goals.
With the COVID issues that are going on, do you believe that harmed the possibility of bringing in more recruits to ASU?
I think you'll see more kids saying, hey, I better stay closer to home. And so I think we'll continue to see our best California kids and even our regional kids in the area, Arizona kids, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, saying, I'm looking for a home, and, let's, stay closer to home, and, where I can be near my family and love and care for them. And, without having to board an airplane or to do those things what commonly we are used to doing. I do think the country's going to come around. We're going to be fine here relatively shortly. But while we're in this time in our lives, it's good for, our West Coast kids to be able to stay here.
Now, looking at this season, you guys had a near perfect run. Podium finish at Cliff Keen, defeating Penn State, winning Pac-12. How did it feel hearing that you guys couldn't end the season with a run at NCAAs?
It was really hard. We had targeted this year, right? Ever since, that number 1 recruiting class, we talked about competing for a national championship at the end of the season. And, obviously we were on a great track through the year. And for them not to get a chance to compete, to not get a chance to take home that team trophy really leaves a hole. It hurts. And it may never go away completely. One thing is we can't control it. So there's, you can only hold on to the emotion so long before you say, hey, I got to move on. But I love that group of guys, and just the younger guys, particularly not so much Kramer, but Courtney and Cordell. I mean, those guys want to win a national championship and believe they could. And we're certainly capable of getting on the podium. And for them, even the younger guys, Teamer can't, his path, he can obviously be a 4-time All-American, but he won't get to wrestle in 4 NCAA tournaments. And so that hurts.
Well, it's a month or 2 later now. How has the team digested the news?
I think they've digested it and they've stomached it and expelled it. I think they're ready to get back to practice. They're itchy, antsy. We've been after them to stay safe and stay separated. But I also know, you look at their bodies when you see them on Zoom, they still look strong. Looks like they've been lifting as much as they can and doing a lot of stuff in the house and running on the street where they can. And so I think they're going to come back as good as anybody's going to come back in this time.
Well, obviously there's no wrestling right now, but how have you been able to keep in contact with your assistant coaches as well as the wrestlers themselves?
By Zoom. We've been, on the internet using video conferencing like a lot of the people in the world are. But it's been unusual to get to know two coaches you just hired. They've been on the job 2 weeks, but Frank did come to town and bought a house, which was nice. Him and his wife Kira. So it was nice to see them face to face for a few minutes. And then Mark Perry and his wife are coming to buy a house in Arizona this weekend. So, but relatively, we have had no face-to-face, right, other than through the internet and our computers. But it's been fun to get to know them even this way, what motivates them, what they care about. We have team meetings every Monday and then sporadically out throughout the week, depending on what we're doing. But every Monday, the coaches get on and they talk to the team, and it's been fun to listen to the perspective Mark and Frank bring. I mean, Lee and I, they know us, we're old hat, but Mark and Frank bring that young energy, and man, they want to win bad. So it expels out of their body to the team. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch how much they want to help the team. And so we've been talking about it a lot, and we're already starting to go through some exercises we can't wait till we get back to practice to get to work. We're working now.
Well, final question. When you guys finally do return, what can we expect from the Sun Devils?
Well, you can expect the Sun Devils to come with some fire, some intensity, some heat. I mean, that's the nature of who we are, right? We're in the Valley of the Sun. We're going to be ready to wrestle. We're going to be ready to train. I'm excited about this new young group, right? As you know, Trey and Colton and Nick, we haven't seen yet. They've been in practice, Julian, and they're excited. And it's going to be fun because it's going to be different for the first time, right? With that group that's graduating, it's just, I wake up every day. They're family. I see them every day, twice a day, their entire 5 years, and they'll continue to be around. But it'll be a lot of fun to go through the newness of a younger group and our new coaching staff, and they're going to bring some fire. That's what's going to happen, Nick. We're going to bring some fire.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Anytime, Nick. Appreciate you covering.